Pruning with purpose. The basics. A presentation of University of Nevada, Reno Extension by Wendy Hanson-Mazette and David J. Harrison. The idea of pruning a tree can be overwhelming. Knowing that one wrong cut could permanently change the way the tree grows or even damage the tree can be intimidating. But pruning does not need to be scary. Once we understand how trees deal with wounds, where to make the proper cut, what to cut, and when to cut. Pruning can also become an opportunity to help not only improve the beauty of our trees, but also the health of our trees. To keep trees healthy, we need to understand that trees do not heal from within as people do. This is why understanding how to make a proper cut is so important. Trees slowly grow tissues over the wound. And in many cases, the larger the cut, the longer the time to cover the wound. To make proper cuts, we use a technique called natural target pruning. This is the practice of using the branch collar to identify the proper location to remove a branch. The tissue from the branch collar will slowly cover the wound area caused by pruning out a branch or limb. Here, we see how the tree covered over a proper cut many years ago. This seal ensures that this section is protected from diseases and pests the same as bark protects. Completely covered good pruning cuts eventually look like a donut without a hole. When pruning cuts are done improperly, however, we see that the tree cannot cover the wound. Many times, the old branch creates a stub that then rots out, creating an open cavity. In this video, we will explore why we should prune, pruning with a purpose, pruning tools to use, and how to make the cut. Why we should prune. In some cases, people prune because they have been taught that they should prune their trees every year. Others prune believing this will slow the tree's growth and prevent it from getting too large. Pruning does not stop growth, as many believe. Each cut that removes live wood will result in new growth throughout a healthy tree. We should ask ourselves why we are pruning. Are we pruning to train and improve the shape and future form of a young tree? This type of pruning is considered training and is done when the trees are young. While undergoing correct training, many trees will require little, if any, pruning as they mature. Are we pruning to improve branch spacing and air movement? Do we want to improve flowering? many trees only bloom on new growth. Knowing the growth characteristics of our trees will help us prune them correctly. Step back and look at your tree. Is there a problem? Is the tree experiencing damage due to dead wood, disease, or dying branches? Or are we addressing a safety problem, like storm-damaged limbs? Knowing our reason for pruning tells us when we should prune. For instance, if we want to train a tree or alter its structure, we should only prune when the tree is dormant. If we feel the reason is urgent due to disease or safety issues, then we should prune as soon as possible, no matter the growing season. Beyond training trees while they are young, in general, there are 4 main reasons we should prune our trees. In most cases, this is considered maintenance pruning. When we find dead, dying, or diseased branches, or if safety is an issue. We always want to remove any parts of the tree that are dead. If dead branches are left on a tree, they can cause damage to healthy limbs and become a host for insects. Any part of the tree that is in the process of dying should be pruned as soon as possible. Otherwise, the disease, death, or damage could spread to healthy parts of the tree. These might be branches that are dying because of damage, insects, or water stress. If you spot branches that appear to be diseased, you should address these branches right away. Diseases can spread rapidly throughout leaves and needles. While some will not harm the tree, others that live in the trees, branches, and trunks can cause death or deform the tree. Removing diseased wood can help the tree have a longer life and prevent the disease from spreading to other trees. Safety issues should be addressed immediately. If an otherwise healthy branch has the potential of breaking or is blocking something like a street sign, it should be removed. Pruning with purpose. If you are working on a tree that has not been pruned in a while or was maintained by someone else, you may need to do more than just the 4 general maintenance pruning. Now you need to look for and correct any mistakes made by others, remove unwanted nuisance growth, and start pruning for a purpose. We can focus our efforts on healthy branches that need to be removed to help a tree with its overall shape or form, including branch spacing, Start with removing any stubs left from past pruning. These are what is left when pruning cuts are done incorrectly. When stubs are left on the tree, they eventually rot out and create open cavities in the tree. This can lead to rot, rodent, and disease issues. The majority of trees have three main forms when they reach maturity. The first is columnar or column-like. Next is pyramidal. The third, the most common for shade trees, is rounded or umbrella-like. When you are pruning to improve the future shape of your tree, it is best to know what kind of tree you have and its natural form. Then stand back and visualize how each cut will change the tree. It is generally a good practice to not remove more than 20% live wood from the tree so as not to overstress the tree. Pruning with a purpose on deciduous trees is best done in the dormant season for two reasons. First, the lack of leaves during dormancy makes it easy to see problems. And second, pruning during dormancy is less stressful on the tree. Pruning with a purpose on evergreen trees is best done during the winter season because pruning during winter is less stressful to the tree. Additionally, there are fewer insects out that may attack the tree while it heals the cut wounds. Here we are looking at a young emerald queen maple. At maturity, it is considered a medium-sized shade tree, typically growing 40 feet tall with a dense, symmetrical, rounded canopy. These trees, when kept healthy, require little maintenance pruning as they mature, especially when correct branch form is started early. Today, the focus is to see that there is good branch spacing and overall structure. If there are any crossing branches or small branches that could pose problems in the future, this is the time to remove them before they get too large and problems form. Many trees form what are called suckers, and they can be pruned out at any time, but sooner is better than later. These are suckers growing off the root of a horse chestnut tree in a public park. These suckers are not improving the tree's shape or health and will only cause problems if left. They can easily be removed at this stage. Here we see suckers that were left and are now weakening the tree and taking away from the tree's natural shape. In this case, these suckers are on a purple robe locust and are covered with thorns. Pruning tools. Once we have our reasons for pruning straightened out, and the time to prune is now, we need to select the right tools for the job. Knowing we have the right tools before we start will always make a job go faster and easier. For general pruning and training, the number one tool we will need is a good quality bypass hand pruner. These are good for live branches 1/2 to 1 inch in diameter. A pair of bypass loppers work best for difficult areas and branches slightly out of reach. They are designed to cut live branches 1 to 1.5 inches in size. A pruning saw is best for larger branches that cannot be cut properly with the pruners or loppers. Here we have 2 different styles. These saws have blades with aggressive teeth that cut in both directions when sawing. Pruning saws are the best tools for removing both live and dead wood that can be difficult to cut through. For large trees, use a pole pruner to reach branches high in the tree canopy. This style has a bypass pruner and a saw attached. If we are dealing with young new growth showing signs of disease or heavy insect issues, many people like to have a pair of pruning scissors. These heavy-duty pruning scissors work well on new growth where pruners may crush the tissue instead of cutting it. Here we can see that the tissue is sunken and discolored. This branch needs to be pruned out as it is partially dead and may be diseased. In this case, the entire limb should be removed, and hand pruners or bypass pruners are the best tool. Here we can see a canker or area of disease. Here we have powdery mildew on the new growth of a crabapple tree. Pruning scissors could easily snip the infected tip of the branch off. When dealing with a tree that shows signs of disease, we should also have a form of disinfectant spray or wipes on hand to disinfect our pruning tools between cuts. This helps prevent the spread of disease to other parts of the tree's canopy or other plants we may be pruning. We should always keep our pruning tools clean and in good condition. And just as we care for our tools, we must think about ourselves before we start pruning. Even for small jobs, it is a good idea to wear a hat, safety glasses or sunglasses, a long sleeve shirt, gloves, pants, and boots. How to make the cut. Now that we have our tools assembled and are dressed appropriately, we need to identify the branch bark ridge and the branch collar of the branch to prune. Identifying the branch bark ridge and the branch collar makes it much easier to perform proper pruning cuts. Here we can easily see the bark ridge and the bulging area of the collar. Pruning cut should always be on the outside of the branch collar for the tree to cover the wound. When dealing with larger branches, it may be necessary to do what is called a 3-cut process. Here we have a branch on an established tree that is blocking a street sign. This branch is large and heavy, so we would want to use a 3-cut method. To remove this branch, we would use our hand saw. The first cut is an undercut about 1/4 through the branch, made upward from the bottom of the branch. The second cut is a downward cut just outside the undercut that removes the entire branch. This eliminates the weight of the branch before making the final natural target cut. The third cut is the natural target cut. The remaining portion of the stub is removed with a cut made just outside of the branch collar tissue. We would use the same process on this storm-damaged branch that has been left on this tree for years. When trees are cared for from a young age, and pruning is done to promote healthy growth, in most cases, pruning will not be required every year. Spotting potential problems early and having the right tools and knowledge to prune properly will help you create strong, beautiful trees.